Good morning and welcome to KidNuz. I'm Tori. Today is Friday, March 18th, 2022. And we begin with an only in Florida story. The swim team at Montverde Academy was just about to dive in for practice when someone spotted a 3-foot alligator chilling at the bottom of the school's pool. Needless to say, no one got in, but it took a while to get the gator out. He or she resisted arrest by creeping around on the bottom, repeatedly dodging attempts by police to wrangle it. Eventually, officers did and relocated it to a nearby lake. Facebook had a field day. While many commended the efforts of law enforcement, others noted that keeping it in the pool would have undoubtedly made the team swim quite a bit faster. The Teddy bus has arrived at the Hungarian border. A British man who originally handed out clothes and necessities to kids fleeing Ukraine decided that they needed more. David Fricker returned home, organized a teddy bear drive, rented a huge bus, and hit the road with more than 3,000 stuffed animals. Each one comes with a personal note written by kids outside the war zone like, "To whoever gets this, I am so sorry for what has happened to you, and I hope this will make your day a little easier." Mr. Fricker and his team of Goodwill ambassadors say they want their bear deliveries to reassure kids who've left everything behind that people all over the world are thinking of them. Will President Biden run for a second term in 2024? He says yes, but Americans aren't so sure. A survey just done by the Wall Street Journal shows that only 52% of voters think he'll try for another 4 years in office. Even among Democrats, only 41% are convinced he'll give it another go. The 79-year-old is already the oldest president ever elected. If Mr. Biden ran and won again, he'd be 82 at his swearing-in ceremony. If you think your school has a tough dress code, be glad you're not in Tokyo. For decades, the city has dictated what kids could wear, right down to the color of their underwear. Students also had to dye their hair black and could only wear it in certain acceptable styles. Now some of these rules are going away. Starting with a new school year on April 1st, nearly 200 schools in the capital will allow for more freedom of expression. Other cities in Japan have equally strict dress codes and so far have resisted any change. Bald is beautiful. That's true if you're a grandpa or an 8-year-old girl with a medical condition. Neve Lewis of South Wales in the United Kingdom has alopecia, an autoimmune condition that caused her to slowly lose all of her hair starting when she was 5. That might give some people pause, but not her. The grade schooler has embraced her new look, saying if her body needs hair, it will grow it, and just signed on with a bunch of modeling agencies. Amy Lewis said her daughter endured a lot of bullying when she was younger, but now is confident in her own skin and wants to help others. Neve now has an Instagram page to connect with kids who also have this condition. Speaking of the gram, the platform just made good on its promise to let parents peek. New controls launched in the U.S. yesterday allow moms, dads, and guardians to view and set limits on the amount of time teens spend on Insta, get updates on which accounts they're following and being followed by, and receive notifications when their kids report another user. For now, teens will have to okay the extra eyeballs and get the process rolling. But in June, parents can jumpstart it. In other KidNuz notes, a wealthy businessman just topped the tank for hundreds of Chicago drivers for free. Former mayoral candidate Willie Wilson spent $200,000 of his own money to help take the sting out of the sky-high gas prices for residents of the Windy City. Cars waited in line at participating stations for hours yesterday, and traffic was reportedly a nightmare. Still, the giveaway was a success, and Mr. Wilson says he may do it again. Before we get to our quiz, a quick correction. Yesterday, we mistakenly sped up the timeline for the Artemis program. An uncrewed launch could happen as early as May, but astronauts won't board until 2024 at the earliest. Now, today's KidNuz questions. What kept a Florida swim team out of its school pool? An alligator. A British man just delivered how many stuffed animals to young refugees from Ukraine? 3,000. What world city is getting rid of its school dress code for student underwear? Tokyo. According to the Wall Street Journal, what percentage of Americans don't think President Biden will run again? "52." In today's Kid News Kicker, New York University just wrapped up its first ever course on all things Taylor Swift. Swifties spent their Wednesday evening studying the superstar's writing style, creative process, business savvy, and the spot she's carved for herself in the music industry. The professor had her Swifties study articles, analyze lyrics for hidden meanings, screen the 10-minute All Too Well short, and even discuss what really happened to Taylor's scarf. The class sounded like a chart topper, but NYU's music department has yet to announce if it will run again or if it was a one-hit wonder. Before we go, we want to shout out our terrific teachers, starting with Mr. Lewis at Swampscott Middle School in Swampscott, Massachusetts. Mrs. Parrott and her Gators at Annie Wright in Tacoma, Washington. Mrs. Kempf at Archbishop Bergen in Fremont, Nebraska. Mrs. Hurst, Mrs. Cleland, and Mr. Picozzi at James W. Smith in Cove City, North Carolina. And math teacher Heather Taylor at North Junior High School in Evansville, Indiana. Thanks for listening. Teachers and Kid News Club members, our weekly word search is in your email, and our weekend review quiz is up on our website. Have a great weekend. We'll see you back here for more Kid News Monday morning.